I just felt like if I was going to be making the most potentially inflammatory comments, I needed to dress up, so I put on my full chinos. You're welcome. I'm a queer dude, and I have been HIV positive for approximately 5 years, and doing sexual and reproductive health activism and career work for about 15 years in total. I was recently working with people living with HIV Direct Service Provision Organization, coordinating a positive health, dignity, and prevention program for the last 3 years. That program involved coordinating a peer team of gay HIV positive men, including the one that helped develop the poster, Scott Donald. It also involved doing a number of service provider trainings to agencies that provided services to gay men living with HIV, to acknowledge how stigmatizing attitudes around PHA sexuality can impact positive gay men and our ability to access services from agencies that are designed to provide direct services to us. So acknowledging that I have been doing this work and have been meeting with gay men living with HIV and doing sexual and health promotion work, either one-on-one at meetings at my former agency, or meeting men in the bathhouse who would often disclose their HIV positive status once we had disclosed our status into the microphone and PA system. And also being a sexually active gay man living with HIV, queer person living with HIV, I found that some of the conversations that were happening around my sexuality and around my ability to self-govern my body and make decisions about how I wanted to play out my sexuality on my body and on other people's bodies was something that was really difficult to do and really stigmatized. So I was really excited to be offered the opportunity to participate in this project by Alex and Jessica, and one of the peers from my team, as I mentioned, Scott Donald, was also interested in helping to craft the messaging for this poster, as it had been a project that we had been working on within my former agency to try and develop some specific messaging to speak to gay men about some of the issues that we don't talk about and that by not speaking of affect our health negatively. And this was one of the issues that we specifically thought was important to talk about substance use and condomless sex. So while this poster is specifically trying to work at, like this is like the structural intervention part of the evening, where it's like this is trying to do some destigmatization work around gay positive and sexuality. And I also just want to acknowledge that using the term barebacking is it's a pretty value-laden phrase, and it's one that I've been personally trying to discourage being used within the context of service provision. I thought, however, that it was really necessary to use it in this poster project because it's language that's used in the community. And I have condomless sex, I'm positive and I'm responsible. It doesn't have quite the same ring to it. And also it's not responding to the actual realities and identities of the fags that I'm having sex with in my community, and I'm actually making this poster to speak to. But I just wanted to acknowledge that there is I'm problematizing my own language, and I want to acknowledge that. So I also think it's really important to acknowledge that people living with HIV have been a part of the HIV/AIDS response since the very beginning of the epidemic. Yet it is something that, as we will speak maybe a little bit more about these posters and some of the ensuing controversy, but very mild Canadian-style controversy. But we'll speak a little bit about that because it seems like that was forgotten, that HIV-positive people actually care about the sexual health of our partners, be they HIV-negative or HIV-positive or unknown status. So I personally believe that this poster and the messaging within it is an extension of the positive health, dignity, and prevention framework that's been petitioned or proposed by the global network of people living with HIV. And I feel like it actually speaks really strongly in favor and is supported by the documents that have kind of come forward to contextualize positive health, dignity, and prevention, acknowledging acknowledging and supporting my beliefs that as queer people and queer people living with HIV, that it is our responsibility to speak out about the sex that we're having, to speak out about our right to govern our bodies and to make decisions that fit best with our values, acknowledging that we have a right to up-to-date and accurate information about the decisions we're going to make, And one of my mentors and former, I don't know what you call that, professional mentor role, anyway, this dude I know, David Lowe, really love him, and he told me when I first started the position I had working as this positive health dignity prevention program coordinator, and he said, if I can't go to my doctor's office and talk about how much I love getting fisted, then how am I supposed to go to my doctor and ask about what the health risks are from that? So one of the purposes of bringing this poster out specifically was to start naming some of the activities that are going on in our community, to recognize that treatment as prevention, even though there's some heinous human rights concerns and complications of how that plays out. Sorry, too fast. There's some complications ethically with how treatment as prevention rolls out, specifically in British Columbia's Stop AIDS program. But that treatment as prevention is a community strategy that gay men living with HIV have been applying to our sex lives and our negotiating situations since the advent of antiretrovirals. So I'm hoping to just wrap this up right now so we can have lots of room for questions. Thank you.